to all of you. Thanks for being here. My name is Yannick Debaupte. I'm in charge of our developer relationship and App Store management for Europe. When I looked at the program today and when I actually look at today and try to position my presentation, I had a few things in mind. The first thing is just after lunch. The second thing, Spain is playing tonight, so I need to keep you focused on what I'm going to say. The third thing, I've seen that the presentation coming after mine is something like, something with social network and Kama Sutra. So I had to find and position my presentation so that you're all interested in what I'm going to say. And actually, when I put everything together, what I figure out is that today we're going to speak about football. We're going to speak about entertainment with a Kama Sutra and a social network. We're going to speak about lunch, because you all have been there. And what I'm coming with is actually money. And all my speech will be around how to monetize on App Store. So I'm not going to cover any technical topic or anything like this, and I would encourage all of you to ask me questions about the monetizations rather than the technical part, if that's fine. So let's start. So Nokia has been putting a lot of effort and a lot of commitment to app stores and connecting with developers wherever they are. And what we do today and what we're going to do in the next 6 to 12 months is actually driving the apps economy all around. So all what we're going to talk about, invest our money into, is about monetizations for developers. We're going to try to reach, and we're going to reach developer community wherever they are in the planet, whether you're in Spain, whether you're in Italy, whether you're anywhere. And we're going to engage with all the developer community to let you know what are the business opportunities to deal with us. As far as I'm involved in this operation, so I'm taking care of Europe, as I mentioned before. Europe for us stretches from France, where I'm coming from, to Russia, where I'm living, from Norway, when I was 2 months ago, to Israel, where I was last month. And in all these places, we have people to interact with developers, either to help developing the applications, to help monetizing it, and to help putting marketing campaign together. So what I'm going to talk about today, it's actually summarized in this point. Monetization capabilities, which are very different from one country to another. You don't monetize the same way all around. The local relevancy. How do we actually bring content which are relevant for a consumer in a specific countries? What I'm interested into if I'm living in Brazil or if I'm living in France or in Russia is completely different. How to bring relevant content to keep consumer engagement in the store. The third thing is about the quality part. I'm going to come back on it, but we're pretty much involved with Microsoft on trying to bring the best possible applications on Marketplace and on our app stores. So we're working with big brands which actually attract consumers to the store. And this one are putting the best content and the best design inside the store, very often on exclusive basis with us. And the last part is to help consumers navigate more and more and come back to the store. So removing all the barriers so that consumer can still be engaged as often as possible with the store. So look backward a little bit. In February 2011, we actually stand on 2 different points. We actually clarify what our strategy were when it comes to app stores and investment. And we said 2 things. We said we're going to engage very strongly with Microsoft and together build an attractive ecosystem around Windows Phone operating system and Marketplace. And we're going to help connecting a lot of people around the world to the internet, very often thanks to mobile device. And it's going to be the first access to internet. So connect the next billion of people with mobile phone. So I don't know how many of you are actually coming, and maybe you can raise your hand, are coming from Latin America. How many from Brazil? Okay, quite a few. So let me start with the Next Billion strategy. Next Billion strategy is basically providing the first internet access to a lot of people who never have had telephone or internet access before. And sorry, I'm going a bit too fast. And for those who have not been developing yet on S40, it's maybe an opportunity to do so when you get back home, especially if you come from Latin America. One of the points I like to state is that Last month, we actually sold our first 1.5 billion S40 device ever. 1.5 billion device, actually quite a lot of device. Last time I count, and I don't think it changed since last week, but Latin America is around 600 million people. Europe is around 300 to 400 million people. It means that every single people, if we put figures with each other, every single people from a child to grandparents actually purchase more than one S40 device. It's massive quantity. You've got a massive install base on the ground. And the person who bought this 1.5 billion phone is actually this lady, who is coming from Sao Paulo. It was a Nokia Asha 303, if I recall well. And who is this lady? She's actually a typical example of the person we try to reach with our next billion. She's young, 21 years old. She's urban, liking exchanging with family, friends, communicating via social network, and using a lot of apps. And it's this person we try to get with the next billion. People which are hungry or who have a lot of appetite for contents, and which are internet savvy. So we've got our S40 install based, and what we announced, for the one who have been following it, I guess it was 10 days ago in Thailand, in Bangkok, we actually announced the launch of those new devices, which are Asha full touch device, so Nokia 305, 306, 311. And actually, yes, I've got one in my pocket for the one who wants to have a look afterwards. We can have a chat later and I can show you what it is. So what we try to do with this, we try to make the engagement, again, for consumers as easy as possible. And this one is coming to pretty low price point, so giving access to a lot of people who could not have or could not afford telephone before. But what's even better is that it's good to have nice hardware, it's good to have nice apps, but actually what we realize going in a lot of different countries is that what really makes a difference is the apps discovery. Is how can you find some content you're interested into in the store. And to do that, we actually spend a lot of time on the user interface. This user interface, which is completely full touch, helps you to actually search, find, download the applications much easier. We removed a lot of stuff. We removed registrations, which was a constraint for consumer to actually download content. So we try to make the download as easy as possible. So it's not only about hardware, apps, but it's about app discovery and usability. And you've got quite a lot of partners which are betting with us on this. So Electronic Arts, for instance, is giving quite a lot of game free of charge on this device because they really believe that they can reach new consumers in new different geographies, like India, a lot of developing markets with this device. So how do you develop an S40 apps? I guess all of you are aware about it, and I promise I will not speak too much about technicality. But you've got two ways of developing an apps. Either using G2MA, so you develop a Java apps, or you develop a web apps using web technology. Two serve different purposes. If you actually go in country with low internet connectivity, you prefer to have an apps which is running on the phone, which do not need that much connectivity. So you would certainly go for Java apps using the API of the telephone. And I was just discussing with one person before, was telling me that using certain API, like the camera, for instance, or the optics, makes him very relevant to his consumer groups. Or you actually use just a standard Java technology, standard web technology, sorry. So a few figures, and I will go quickly on this one. Actually stayed 30 million, but it's not 13, it's not 14, it's 15 we passed a week ago, 15 million downloads a day on Nokia Store. I'm not talking about Marketplace yet, just Nokia Store, 15 million. And out of this 15 million, 1/3 is actually coming from S40, which is around 250% growth year on year. And this is before we launched the full touch. Since we launched the full touch, it's nothing, it's just like 10 days. And we actually see a massive pickups in terms of downloads. And it's actually a good cycle because the more apps you've got on the store, the more consumer engaged you have, and the more consumer engaged you have, the more interest you've got for developer to come to the platform. It's actually a pretty good cycle which is started. And what we actually see quite a few people which have now going over the 1 million downloads. I mean, you see the numbers, they're pretty impressive. And I wanted to come back just on specifically on this case, which is one of our partner in Spain. So I'm talking about people which are going more than 1 million download. Here we're talking about 6.5 million downloads, which is actually pretty good, especially in 12 months, only on Nokia Store. And while we're presenting these presentations, I was actually listening to Sergio, who was representing his company. And further to what he was saying, what I like is the enthusiasm he had, talking about his relationship with Nokia. And he said something which is always coming back in any country where I go, or any relationship I've got with developer. He says, when I want to talk to Nokia, I talk to one person. I don't talk to an email address. It's exactly what we're trying to do. We try to have people on the ground who talk with our developers and who actually help them finding the best monetization method for the right audience and the best platform. It's not about just delivering a development kit. It's about playing an expert role to help monetizing the app's business. So a lot of data about these companies that I was actually pretty interesting to look at, because it's not only one country, it's all around. And what we were discussing is that the monetization models are different. And the opportunities that Sergio was looking at is actually pretty large. Here we're talking only about B2C business, but he was mentioning a lot of B2B opportunity as well. He was mentioning about Latin America, saying all the audience in here, all my traffic, is actually coming from Nokia because of this huge install base. So this was everything for the next billion. But now another very exciting part is what we do with Microsoft. So Microsoft is actually a big commitment, a big mutual commitment between Nokia and Microsoft. We all work pretty closely. We have been working pretty close to actually raise some interest around this platform. And actually, we had quite a lot of good success. First of all, the hardware, device part. So you've seen that in different stages, we have introduced more and more devices. We started by Nokia Lumia 800, that I hope all of you have at least seen. Nokia 710. We recently introduced Nokia Lumia 900 in the US, Nokia 610, which is bringing Windows platform to a lower price point. We also went to China with CDMA device, and we're actually spreading around the telephone all around the planet, which is what Nokia is good at, delivering telephone all around the planet to create an install base for developers. So 4 fantastic devices and much more to come. So where we are today, we've got 4 devices, we've got Marketplace, which is operating in 60 countries. So if you actually publish an app, you can publish it all around these 60 countries. We have a lot of operators billings that we'll come back to as well to monetize. And we're selling 80,000 available apps, but I guess pretty soon we're going to be able to announce another good milestone. And you've got big partners and big names which are actually supporting the platform on exclusive basis. What I mean on exclusive basis is that people like Electronic Arts, CNN, ESPN, Univision, for some of you knows, have developed specific apps which are exclusive to Lumia platform. So users cannot find the same content on other platforms. Another deal that was pretty exciting about, I was with them 2 weeks ago, it's Red Bull. Fantastic application, fantastic content coming to the store. Massive editorial effort behind the apps. Very good to see all these partners supporting our platform. And what do we do? What is different on Lumia comparing to the other Windows Phone? So we've got quite a lot of things we're working on with developers. First of all, the preload part. So we preload applications. So if you develop an application, we engage discussion with developer to preload it on the front tile, and we do it so that it's locally relevant. So, I mean, I'm living in Russia for the time being, and we've been doing that with local newspapers, local game companies, and the discussion we would have in another country is completely different. We try to make it locally relevant. Then Marketplace. For people like the previous partner or for companies we're dealing with on exclusive basis, we actually create a specific part of the store where we actually publish this application under Nokia collections. This one goes through quite a lot of quality process, and they usually, best applications, and a lot of different activities. So, what is it? We've been monitoring week per week the number of apps ingestions into marketplace is going super fast. It's really going fast. And actually, I must admit, I've never seen so much developer enthusiasm as with this platform. And there are multiple reasons for that. The fact that the monetization method is different, the fact that we can merchandise locally, it's really going nicely. But I mean, to do that, we actually put quite a lot of effort. These 25,000 are actually corresponding to 25,000 devices we're seeding to help developer testing the applications on marketplace. Up to date, we have seeded 20,000 devices. We still have 5,000 devices to go. And it's very easy to get them. You just go and talk to any Nokia people. You explain what your project is about. Our colleagues will actually advise you on different topics like monetizations, like which platform, like what is the best period of the year to launch it, what is the best countries. And up we go. We're going to work out with you and we're going to seed some device. So please interact with our colleagues. They all have this device. But this part is the one I'm the more exciting about and actually which really creates some differentiations. We actually group a lot of opportunities or a lot of different initiatives under one concept that we call BDK, Business Development Kit. If you've been a little bit long enough in this business, everyone talk about SDK, so it's all about techniques, it's all about development pack, it's how easy to develop an applications, to test an applications. But everyone is good at that. I guess all of you knows the technical part even better than we do, because very often you give us a lot of feedback on what we should correct, or give us some suggestions of what we should do. Our competitors are doing very good development kit as well. So we don't believe the differentiations come from technical support. It's a given. You have to be good at that, but it's a given. What really makes the differentiations is how good we are to help developers turning apps development to a business. We strongly believe that apps development is not only a technical fantasy, but should be profitable and people should make money out of it. Actually, all of us in the team are incentivized on how much money the developer community is doing. So the more you do, the more we reward it as well. And what is that? This is a lot of different things. This starts from in-apps purchase, in-apps advertising, putting you in contact with the right advertisers in which countries. When we start interacting with you, we're never going to ask you to develop on one platform. We're going to ask you first, what is your audience? What are you selling? And how do you prefer to monetize? We're going to listen to that. We're going to share a lot of data inputs we have. We know that in certain countries, in-apps payment is working better. We know that in other countries, in-apps advertising is good because the CPM are better. We know that some other countries, operators billing is better. In some other, it's about credit cards. So we're going to play, and actually we're playing a consultant role. So we're here to help you building a business out of apps development. And if there is one thing we're actually pretty good, and no one can beat Nokia for the time being, and I think it will take time before anyone can come close to us, it's about the operator billing. We actually today have an agreement with 140 operators in 50 countries. Where I personally come from, so Russian-speaking part of the world, I was in Africa before, credit card is inexistent. In-apps advertising, yes, in some countries, not everywhere. 90% of the revenue done in Russia is actually based on operators billing. No one else but ourselves has relationship with 100% of the operator. So we do a lot of things about marketing as well. In our business development kit, we actually put on our website a lot of support for you to build your own marketing campaign, to build your Facebook campaign, to actually be able to insert your apps in different medias. So just go and see. You have a lot of things and stuff you can actually use. So what does local means for us? We insist on this point. Local means people like me, people like Manuel, people like everyone around the planet that you can talk to. You pick up your phone, you have one Nokia people in your country you can talk to. If you don't have, you just call me, I give you my details, and I put you in contact with anyone. It means that if you want to go in one country, I can put you in touch with a guy which are merchandising our store, and we can actually give some visibility in your apps. You don't need to create a lot of traffic. We can work on campaign, where for 2 weeks we make your apps more visible comparing to others. It's a lot of different activities we do on local side. This one I'm pretty excited about. It's one of my colleagues in France have been doing, the one on the left-hand side. They actually went up to work out with Visa to create a specific debit cards, or prepaid cards, sorry, where people get when they buy a Lumia phone, and with this one they have to spend, or they can spend 50 euros on content on the phone. So a lot of different initiatives to try to engage people in the store and to make them try the store to discover your apps. And finally, I'm going to end up with this one, why Nokia? A lot of people are actually saying, why should I work with Nokia? I mean, we see a lot of enthusiasm, but the question keeps on coming back. Why Nokia? Why Nokia? Why Nokia? So what we do, we actually present all around the world. We have a reach that no one else can do, and we've got a reach on the low end and on the high end. Developing countries, very visible. A lot of traffic coming through our store, massive install base. High-end product, fantastic collaboration with Microsoft. But the whole thing you have to remember, and I hope you will get out of this presentation, is that what we're here for is to help you making some money out of your apps. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Yannick. Thank you so much. I think it's great to have in Red Innova big corporations and like Nokia, that they are willing to do business with us, with developers, with mobile apps, developers and companies. So if you have an app company or know someone who has one, we can put you in touch with the Nokia team to do partnerships and business. So now we have, first, are there questions for Yannick? First, sorry, I forgot about that. Where? Oh.
Over there.
Over there. Where?
Up there on the right inside, gentlemen.
Okay, there. Yeah, thank you so much. I don't see you. Trae la urna, trae la urna.
Hi. I would ask you just if, in a world where we're watching two big platforms like Android and Apple, and where Android already has the problem of fragmentation with their apps and with their versions, why would you tell a company that they should develop with Nokia?
Sorry, can you speak a little bit louder?
Oh, sorry. In this world where we have Android with all the problems they have with the fragmentation of the SO they have, and then we have Apple who has who are the leaders now in the market. What would you say to a company, a big company, to convince them to invest developing for Nokia with two platforms, and why Nokia? Where's Nokia against Android and Apple? I mean, what's your part in the world apart from them?
Okay, I understand. So first, it would depend if I speak with a developer or if I speak with a brand. So I guess your question is much more on the developer side, right?
No, with a brand.
With a brand, okay. So I would not start with a platform. So I'm not going to engage with you to tell you you should develop on one platform or another, because it could be irrelevant. So what I'm going to ask you is, what do you want to do first? What do you want to develop? Taking into account that our promises is to build what we call a third ecosystem. We actually have two very strong ecosystems for the time being. You've got an Apple one, which is very strong. You've got an Android one, which is good as well, with, both weakness and advantages in both cases. And where we see some opportunity is based on different strengths that Nokia has been accumulating around time. So first of all is the reach. I don't think our competitor has the same reach all around. But this one is only one topic. The main topic, and I come back to one point I've been touching, is a business development kit. And it sounds anecdotal when you speak about it like this, but let's say you're developing an apps, and you actually want to maximize the return out of the apps you develop, right? And if you develop an apps, and you publish it in China, without knowing what the Chinese market is about, you've got a strong chance of having a very negative return on investment. And I can multiply the example in different ways. So it's not, I create an apps and I published it. You should start the other way around. You should start from what business I want to do, and then I go backward to see what I want to develop. And what we have and what we're sharing with developer, and this is actually my answer to your questions, is that we run on constant basis surveys in every different countries to see what is the apps consumptions in one country. So when people download apps, is it the morning, is it the evening, is it via Wi-Fi, is it via network, what payment they use, what content they expect, what content is growing versus what content is dropping. And the consulting role we're actually doing, we're doing exactly that. The company I mentioned in here was telling me we actually gain theory a lot of times because the apps we developed to reach the Indian market was actually matching with the Indian consumption pattern and the right Indian payment. But using the same apps in Europe would have been a complete failure. So what we do, we actually learn from this different knowledge that we share with you. We sit with you, we open our book, trying to share our experiences. And we actually do the same with operator.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Okay, now we are supposed to, okay, there was a prize here. So I think you have, Yannick, to take out one of the cards without looking at it.
Okay.
And which is going to be the winner of the new Nokia Lumia 800. So please take out my card, please.
So I don't look at it.
And the winner is Pablo Larguilla, Red Innova.
Yannick Debaupte, no? No, is Nexceptions, Moises Fimat Tomo.
Founder and CEO of Nexceptions. So if he's not here, we're going to drop him an email. And
it's actually a clever name.
Yeah, okay. Moises is here. Moises? No, okay. He has a Nokia. Okay. Thank you so much, Yannick. And he's going to be around too, and all the people of Nokia. Thanks.
Thank you.